So the key is do well at home, but also get some points on the road. And 3 points obviously is important for any of those teams.
And we are underway in Cary, North Carolina, as the Railhawks host Indy 11. Chris Whittingham, Thomas Rongen with you here. And this Carolina Railhawks side has one big mission tonight. Do not allow goals. They lead NASL in goals allowed, tied with Jacksonville Armada FC, who drew 0-0 today at home to Minnesota United, giving up 29 goals in just 18 games. How can Carolina improve in their defensive shape, Thomas Rongen?
Well, they got to do something with their possession. They are the highest-rated team in the opposing half, possession, pass accuracy, and retention. But they can turn that into turnovers, which they've done as of late, which we saw last week as well. Losses of possession in bad spots that puts their back four under great duress. And the arc of concentration, Chris, that's where they really need to get better. They've given up, what, 25 or 26 goals inside the 18-yard box. And again, that's why we see a change in goalkeeper, you know, with Fitzgerald, who's better coming off his line.
See Indy 11 winning it midfield. Ring now will send Zayed forward on the charge. Good challenge in, though, from Matt Watson, who will hold in the center of the park for Carolina. Now Matt Fondi returning the favor. Running towards Greg Janicki. Tries to flick it on for Omar Bravo. But good interception by his fellow Mexican international, Torrado.
Those guys have connected really well. Scored goals. They've assisted on each other. And Colin Clark talked about their relationship getting better and better. They need to get more from their wide players. As you said, they made a change out wide. Shriver is not starting, getting a little bit of a rest because he got a tight hamstring. But Cipollani really needs to step up, which he did so well on Bravo's goal last week when he comes in from the right side, 1v1 and creates chances. But the key again, you're right, how does Carolina defend today?
As for Indy 11, they have been great at home so far this season. 9 wins, 2 draws, no losses in their 11 home games, but they've yet to recreate that form on the road. One win, 5 draws, 2 losses away from home so far this season. For a really good defensive team, it's more been about the scoring for Indy 11. And scoring just 5 goals away from home.
And late, Chris, as well. There's been quite a few games that went down to the wire. 90+ extra time. That's a team that has patience. That's a team that's well coached. It's a team that shows discipline, that can stay in games and can win games late as well. That's just, you know, Hankinson talked about that. The mentality, the leadership. He wants players that are vocal, both in the locker room and on the field, hold each other to high standards. And you can see there's quality there. And there's belief. 2 losses, that's the best of any team in 2016.
And they've both come in the fall season, and we've actually seen both of them here on BN Sports against Minnesota United and Miami FC. Is trying to play the ball in is Don Smart. Was not really figuring to be one of the starters on that outside wing for Indy 11, as the ball played in from Palmer is actually going to come out for a handball there off of Paul Black.
Yeah, on the right side right now you see and the switches come obviously. Smart on the right side with Palmer, 2 players that are injected in the starting 11. Palmer will go, or sorry, Smart will also venture on that left. Dylan Mayers will interchange. Torrado and Brett Ring are really the 2 stations centrally for Indy. And Greg Janicki has been great on set pieces, Chris, this season.
Matter of fact, the entire Indy 11 team has been good from a goal-scoring perspective, which one would not expect. They've scored 7 goals combined between Janicki's 3, Vukovic, who's about to take the set piece, and Colin Falvey, who is not starting today. As Vukovic will swing it in. Dangerous ball in. Akira Fitzgerald gets something on it, but it's still on here for Dylan Mayers. And finally, just going to be able to boot it out is this Carolina defense, and set-piece danger thwarted.
Great ball by Vukovic again. It's a hard ball for Fitzgerald to come for, so you get caught in no man's land. Any kind of deflection, it probably is a goal. So did well by staying on his line, so to speak, and let his defenders deal with it.
Actually came in ahead of the punch. See that happen a good amount when those in-swinging kind of crosses from the outside being difficult to handle for goalkeepers, because you never know when someone's going to get the decisive touch on it as the ball is played over the top here for Matt Fondi. Even when he was struggling in Jacksonville, always does a great job holding possession. And now on this right-hand side, here's T. Shipolani to the feet of Fondi. Going to try and lead it towards the byline so he can run onto it. The cross is in, but the 40-year-old goalkeeper, John Bush, is able to catch, turned 40 earlier this week. And despite his age, continues to be one of the better goalkeepers in NASL. And has had 7 clean sheets this season. Thomas, you've coached John Bush at one point.
Yeah, I got a little shout out by Tim Hankinson. John Bush had said hello. Yeah, happy birthday, John. Great. Started actually out when I coached at DC United. One of the worst mistakes maybe in my coaching career. I thought he was too small. Moved on. Had a great career in MLS and now is a stalwart for this team. One of the reasons why they've been successful is John Bush, without a doubt. Leadership, has won games single-handedly, and good goalkeepers get you 2 or 3 wins.
Bush turned 40 on Thursday, and Tim Hankinson, the head coach of Indy 11, was telling us you can only imagine the old man jokes that made their way towards the goalkeeper from Queens, New York. It's Connor Tobin, who you see there wearing the face mask, still recovering from injury, was injured in the first game of the fall, and only just made his return last week as a substitute, replacing the injured Drew Becky, who is back into the team, so was not forced to miss any time as the ball played by Torrado is a dangerous one and is intercepted here by Carolina. And Fondi will now play it to the feet of Stephen Miller, the right back, charging forward.
And Colin Clark's defense, I mean, we talked about Drew Beck. He's played in midfield. He's played in the back. That had a lot of changes due to injuries. And then it becomes very hard to get chemistry and certain cohesiveness. That becomes automatic. I press, you step. We squeeze, you drop.
Here's Watson, who had the equalizing cross last week against Puerto Rico that was sent towards Matt Fondi. A great glancing header towards the near post, and Fondi has scored 4 goals for this Carolina side since coming to them between the spring and the fall season. Played in 8 games for Jacksonville Armada in the spring and failed to score in any of the games, which came as a surprise for a guy in Fondi who was USL's top goal scorer last year with 22 as the ball is played over the top here, forcing Paul Black to just get it out as far as he can, and actually is to the feet of Omar Bravo. Al-Badawi able to move it on, but only to the feet of Corey Miller. Good challenge in from Austin DeLuce to win possession back for Carolina. Now he'll try and spring Bravo forward. Now Fondi under pressure, and the referee is going to pull this one back. Brad Ring with the challenge in on Matt Fondi, and now Carolina will have a chance at a set piece.
Now Brett Ring is a tough Indiana boy. Went to the University of Indiana, played a little bit in the MLS. When he goes for a tackle, he goes for a tackle, and that's a good call by our referee. Foul puts Carolina in a good position with their height. Fondi, Becky will go forward. Tobin good in the air as well. So they've got some targets.
Fondi has been a great influence for Carolina's goal-scoring record. They've gone up a full goal per 90 minutes in games that he plays, and will beat Nazmi Al-Badawi to take this set piece. One of NASL's leader in assists. He'll play it short here with Matt Watson. He'll try the shot, and it forces John Bush from a great save. Brad Ring sweeping clear, but Bush having to dive to his left. He thought for a second that Watson was going to have that intercepted, but does well to maintain possession and crack a shot towards Bush's goal.
There you can see it again. Watson just doing very well, eluding some defenders, coming through traffic. That's again a great reaction save by John Bush.
And it will be Shipolani to take this corner. And now just settling things down here in the penalty area is our match day referee, Mark Kedledzik. We saw today in the Premier League 2 penalties pulled back in the Manchester City game for tussling in the penalty area. So just trying to clear things up as Shipolani plays a near post. Connor Tobin, the closest gray shirt to it, but Corey Miller got the touch on it. Now Torrado trying to play it for a white shirt to sweep clear, and Vukovic's attempt at doing so goes wayward, not for a throw-in. Capelani to throw it in. Stephen Miller now played to the feet of Deleuze. You see plenty of positional interchange in that midfield. As cross comes in, Omar Bravo the closest to it to try and get the header on it, but unable to do so. And now under pressure is Don Smart, and he's going to have to give away the throw in, although there might be a point of contention as to whether or not it went off Bravo first. To tell you, in games around NASL, we mentioned the Strikers playing their first game at their new stadium in Central Broward. And it is a 1-1 game. Amaudi, the former Juventus striker, scoring for the Strikers, and Carl Haworth scoring for Ottawa Fury. So 1-1.
2 goals in 2 games now.
The
Great
other
Italian forward. Plays for the Italian national team, Juventus. Wasn't sure if he hit his leg still at 36, but he shows he does.
We've seen those guys hit the ground running in NASL. We've seen 2 of them here tonight in Torrado and Bravo. 36 and over. Bravo, the all-time leading goal scorer for the Mexican club Chivas Guadalajara.
You know the last time these guys played against each other? In La Liga MX, January 16th, Chivas versus Cruz Azul. And here they are again in the United States, squaring off.
Both legends at those respective clubs. Torrado playing in a ton of appearances for Cruz Azul, was there for nearly 11 years. Omar Bravo made over 370 appearances from his club. So both guys synonymous with those famous Mexican teams, and also playing in plenty of appearances for the Mexican national team. Bravo with a little over 60, and Dorado with much more than that, over 130, deputizing in the center of the park, where he has for the majority of his career. You saw the scores there flashing up on the screen. We'll keep you up to date. 2 other games in NASL gone right now. Puerto Rico hosting the Cosmos, and Tampa Bay hosting FC Edmonton, one of the better sides in NASL, particularly defensively, giving up just 10 goals in NASL all season. You compare that to a Carolina team that's given up 29 in 8 games, sit bottom of NASL in that mark. As the cross comes in, it was towards
Colin Miller. Does a great job
Bears.
going back to Edmonton. I played them last year twice, both in Edmonton and at home when I coached at Tampa Bay Rowdies. And you're right, they're a tough team to break down. They're well organized. They play low pressure. That's their mantra, you know, right, wrong, or indifferent. But they get results.
Vukovic will now play into the feet of Dylan Mayers. He'll try and measure the cross in. It's all towards Zayed, who tried to direct it on goal, but sailing over the bar, never really threatening Fitzgerald's goal.
Those are predators, Higuain-like runs. Hold a little bit, hold, and try to get a step on that defender, which he does, just in a little bit of a different angle. But man, that's where he makes his bread and butter, Zayed, and that's the reason why he's the 2nd leading goal scorer after Mr. Ramirez in this league.
It'll be Akira Fitzgerald, the 29-year-old from Japan, starting in his 11th game. We mentioned the change at goalkeeper, multiple changes for Colin Clark, not really settling on his first-choice keeper. Fitzgerald has started 10 games. The other goalkeeper we saw last week, Brian Sylvester, started in 7. So a pretty even split, which you generally don't see at club level.
And that might be the reason that they're giving up some goals, Chris. You know, I mean, there's such a thing of chemistry between the goalkeeper and his back 4 as well. One goalkeeper is better coming off his line than the other. One is more of a reaction goalkeeper, and if that changes from week to week, it becomes very tough for defenders to read their goalkeeper, so to speak. Saying that, Colin Clark making changes, because neither one has really taken that #1 position with their performances.
Here's Palmer, good challenge in from Deleuze to attempt to win it back. He too will be a part of the defensive effort. He does get forward and playing some good balls, but more of an out-and-out midfielder than you would say Brian Shriver is, right?
Yeah, Shriver played for me last year. Loves to run at people. He's got deceiving speed. Deleuze is more of a possession kind of player, better passer of the ball. He's the ones that gets the ball to the Shrivers of the world, so to speak. So a little tweak there. Maybe a little more conservative. That's what Colin Clark talked about. It's about results. We lost 2 points last week. Do we have to become a little bit more pragmatic? And even at home say, you know what, 3 points is just so important. It doesn't matter how we achieve it.
This Carolina team was on a great trajectory at the start of the season, winning their opening 4 games of the spring and looking like they're on their way to being spring champions. But since then, their form has totally dropped off. They've taken 11 points from their 42 available since that start to the year, and a lot of it has to do with their defending. When you compare against Indy 11, that's given up 16 goals, Carolina given up 29, and they face the most shots on target per game in the league. So just defensively not doing enough to lock down, and it's cost them.
Well, their individual defending has been poor. We call that a group defending, which is 2 or more. And then their team defending, their shape is not always correct. As I said again, in transition, they get stretched, and it becomes very easy for opposing teams with some speed. And that, I think, is one of the reasons why Yalu's starting, because he's got great speed and can really play off Zayed up front on the biggest field, by the way, in the league as well, lengthwise and widthwise. So Tim Henkerson going with speed on top.
Should say that we are glad to have a full day of football here on BN today. The return of La Liga and Serie A. Barcelona and Juventus both in action today.
What a performance by Mr. Messi again. 2 great goals. Duran getting a goal as well with the absence of Neymar. Talk about Neymar. Scores the winner in the Maracana against Germany. 5-4 in PKs. So here he's going from GOAT to hero, from the Copa to winning an Olympic medal, gold medal for his country. In desperate need in all areas to have some joy in terms of their football and in terms of their socio-economic. Those are the times where everybody forgets about all the problems. It's just beautiful to see.
Cipollani with a good long ball towards Deleuze, plays it towards Fondi. Gonna leave here for Omar Bravo, who tried to open up a pocket of space, but the touch in the end was just too heavy. Still on, though, for Nazmi Al-Badawi. He'll try the cross again towards Omar Bravo, wearing the number 99 shirt. He's going to be an important focal point of this Carolina attack. Started in, this is 5th game for Carolina. Has already scored 3 times. He and Fondi have combined very well, combining for 7 goals here in this fall season. As the giveaway is poor there from Matt Watson, and now Indy 11 will look to counter. On Smart.
Yeah, interesting to see that Tim Hankinson is going with Smart predominantly on that right side, and Dylan Maris, who's played on the right side pretty much in every game, is now playing on the left and put in a great ball for Zayed with his left foot a few minutes ago. So Hankinson is looking at matchups, thinks that Smart versus Black is really in his favor. And on the other side, you got Dylan Mayers trying to keep Mr. Miller at bay, who likes to go forward very much. So he's thinking attackingly, and he's also thinking about defensive responsibilities.
Speaking of defensive responsibilities, Nemanja Vukovic going to have to do them here on Cipollani. Now the 1-2 is on here for Deleuze, edge of the area. He'll try the long ball towards Black. He'll hit it first time across. There's nobody there at that far post to try and nod that one in, but a good ball hit first time there by Paul Black. You mentioned the overlapping runs, and Black there with a good one.
Nice to see lefties, finding lefties there from Deleuze to Black. Just nobody there at the back post. But that's what Deleuze does well and better than Shriver. Saying that, in midfield, you need to get some runners that are willing to come out of midfield and help Bravo and looking for the second forward here.
Fondi, yeah.
Number 16, Mr. Fondi. Sorry, Mr. Fondi, just had a brain freeze here.
A set piece to be taken here by Indy 11. Just kind of out of nowhere off a long ball, and be Mares to take it from the left corner. Raises his arm, swings it in, edge of the 6-yard area. Fitzgerald comes, and it's a goal for Indy 11. Another defender on the score sheet. A 4th of the season for Greg Janicki. And Indy 11 on the road have scored in Carolina.
And that's why there's such an uncertainty about the goalkeeping situation in Carolina right now. Fitzgerald needs to get to this ball, doesn't. Janicki, a great job towering over Mr. Fondy, winning that battle. And you can see it right there, number 12, just getting in between two players, Tobin and Fondy, and Fitzgerald not being able to go on his line. I mean, size is maybe not the most important thing, because John Bush on the other side is similar in height and just plays big. Fitzgerald there didn't come up the way he needs to come up. Even being in a punched ball, Chris, to get it out of danger.
Came off his line there, and Greg Janicki made them pay. We told you early on in this one that defenders have scored 7 times for Indy 11 coming in, including some crucial ones. Last week, the winner for Colin Falvey against Rio OKC. Plenty of important goals for this Indy 11 team, who, as you mentioned, have struggled on the road. They're about to start a good run of games on the road, and they've played 8 road games so far and just scored in 5 of them. So now, as they play away from Michael Carroll, they're going to have to do some more work offensively. And once again, Carolina conceding goals, their 30th of the year they've given up in this, their 19th game. And again, playing from behind here at home. This Carolina team, probably the difference between them and the teams that are right now in the playoff positions in NASL is their home form, as Vukovic here will go on the overlap, will try and play the cross. Don Smart, though, going to play it across. Came off of Deleuze. Still available here, though, for 11. Lavelle Palmer will try the left-footed shot, and Fitzgerald always behind it.
Good spell of possession and crosses from Indy 11, putting pressure on that central back duo again. Having Fitzgerald have to come up pretty huge in that first one. With Smart making a great weak-sided run, connecting close to the end line. They're very methodical in their build. When they have to go fast, Chris, they can as well.
Good ball into the channel here for Omar Bravo. Mexican great, plays it back here for the Englishman Black. Al-Badawi played to the feet of Fondy, will try and get on the turn, and he'll have a go, and he'll score! An equalizing goal for Matt Fondy. Not too long after Indy 11 hit the front. A 5th goal in a Carolina uniform for Matt Fondy. It's Carolina 1, Indy 11 1.
Great ball in, and that's what a good forward does. Janicki doesn't close him down. Great turn by Fondy, and just rivaled at far post. No chance for John Bush. There you see it again. 1-2 touches, not being closed down properly, finding the back of the net with a thunderous shot. Fondy getting his team back in this game.
And unsurprisingly, Carolina having the firepower to return serve here in this one after Indy 11 goes in front. And now seems like we're going to have a fun one on our hands. Pretty open game here with both teams attacking, and that's what Carolina's been involved in. We saw a few weeks ago here at this stadium, they played a 3-3 with Miami FC. Not the kind of game that Indy 11 likes to play, though. They've played 15 of their 19 games conceding just 1 goal or fewer. Well, we have a shootout here in Cary. Certainly make for great viewing for the neutral. Here's Brad Ring.
Now, both keepers have to come up once or twice for big saves already to keep their teams into it. You get 2 good goals taken by Indy and by Carolina. And as you said, it's been an open game, and a game that probably suits Carolina a little bit more if it gets stretched and becomes a running game, especially on this big field.
Now, Indy 11 is capable of putting some goals in. Here's Vukovic with the low cross in. Thumped away by Becky. Indy 11 has scored 5 in a game, as well as a pair of 4-goal performances. See the smoke going off here at Wake Men. making the view a little bit difficult. As the cross forces Fitzgerald into a jumping touch on the ball.
Much better. Rearranging his feet, backpedaling a little bit quicker. That's what he should have done on the corner as well.
Good challenge in from Tolalo to play it to the feet of Zayed. Tries to flick it over for Dylan Mayers. Good save by Fitzgerald. Still on for Mayers. And another good bit of play there. The lovely 1-2 between Zayed and Mayers.
And that's where Fitzgerald is very John Bush-like. Great reactions. Anything near to him he can get to. On the ground in particular, it's just when aerial balls come in, that's where the problems start for Fitzgerald and his back four. But great save. Great ball through to Zayed as well. Nice. Lifted over the two central defenders. Zayed just finds those great seams with some diagonal runs. Very deceiving. Hangs out, isn't involved, and boom, there he goes.
Becky into the feet of Matt Watson, who's going to turn and have a good run forward here. Lays it to Bravo. Good leave for Deleuze. Austin Deleuze, who was sent off in the previous game for Carolina. Into Jacksonville Armada. As a cross will come in from Stephen Miller long and actually forces John Bush to catch on his line. Thought maybe he was going to tip it over the bar, but instead just kind of left it there on the line, and he was able to keep it in. But still a little bit dangerous there from Miller. Forces Bush into a little bit of discomfort, and in the end, though, does hold on. We saw there the flashing score on the screen. Fort Lauderdale Strikers 1, Ottawa Fury 1. Not only, as we told you about the goals from Amaury and Carl Haworth, but also a missed penalty. Good save by Bruno, the Strikers goalkeeper, as Carl Haworth tried for his second on 38 minutes and could not convert. So that's the halftime score between the Strikers and Ottawa Fury at the moment. Bush plays it over the top. Good job by Zayed to win it. Don Smart now charging forward at this back line, but the infield pass was towards Zayed. He ran past it. Now Carolina will look to build out of the back, and the ball by Miller plays off of Mayers out for a throw-in. We mentioned home form earlier as being vital in NASL, particularly at the top of the combined standings right now. Carolina 3-4-1 here at WakeMed Soccer Park. Too many drop points, and that's what Colin Clark called the result against Puerto Rico last week after going 1-0 up. Called it 2 drop points, not 1 point earned, and 3-4-1, just not a good enough mark when you compare it to Indy 11, who's 9-2-0, excuse me, at home. The Cosmos are 9 wins, a draw, and no losses. FC Edmonton is 9 wins, no draws, and 1 loss. Minnesota United is 8 wins, a draw, and 2 losses. So it is vitally important to be good on your home stadium as it's turned over. Yula into the area, pulled back, and the referee is pointed to the spot. Suleiman Yula threatening the goal of Fitzgerald. And in return, Mark Koledzik has said that Yula was pulled back in defense, and it will be a penalty for Indy 11. We'll have a look at the replay here just to see who it was that, in retreat of Yula, pulled him back. I believe it's going to be Drew Becky. You're going to see him pull Yula from behind. And you see grabbing the right arm as Fitzgerald comes in, and the referee thinks that enough to point to the spot. Is it a penalty for you, Thomas Ronda?
Absolutely. They don't give the referee any other choice. The pull right there with the left arm is coming, right arm, sorry. And Yula's played the ball too far in front of him. That would have been not an easy save for Fitzgerald, but a brave save that he would probably corralled. And again, Carolina just keeps shooting themselves in the foot defensively. First, the turn by Yula leaves Becky in a tough situation to scramble. Good defenders intercept passes like that. They read stuff, they step in front. They're always on their back foot, this defensive unit of Carolina. Gives Zayed a chance to increase his tally,
which right now sits at 11 goals. Eamon Zayed puts it past Fitzgerald. And Indy 11 once again in front in the opening half hour. They've scored twice here at WakeMed Soccer Park as the Railhawks' defensive woes continue. It's a 12th of the season for Eamon Zayed. It's Carolina Railhawks 1, Indy 11 2.
Great little replay there again. Becky That's not smart. Zayed steps up, and that's a little bit like the winner that Mr. Neymar scored for Brazil. Upper corner, keeper going the wrong way. Zayed, cold veins this guy has. Keeps his composure, lets the goalkeeper go one way, and then slots it home the other way.
We mentioned his 12th of the year. That puts him one behind Christian Ramirez, the top goal scorer for Minnesota United in NASL. Zayed, though, does have 2 hat tricks this season, one against Jacksonville Armada and one against these very Carolina Railhawks in the spring season finale back in June that gave Indy 11 the spring championship. So Zayed, the dual Irish-Libyan international, has proved vital for the efforts of Indy 11.
And if you look at this team, Chris, from last year, because I played them last year, there's not a lot of changes. The one change, though, which has been a key for them, obviously, is up front with Zayed, who didn't play there last year, and Torrado in midfield. Although Patterson, that Torrado replaced, was also on a tear. You know, that team had done well without Torrado, continues to do well with Torrado. And when you get in tough games, Torrado probably gives you a little bit more experience. But throughout, it's been the same team that we talked to him yesterday, that Tim Hankinson said, Thomas, I walked in, I looked at this team that had not been successful, like great crowds, and I changed the mentality.
And Mares will try the cross, and it is towards Zayed, who's able to get over Connor Tobin and get something on it, but it is always going wide. For Zayed, though, not only does he lead NASL, or he's second leading in goals, but is also among the leaders in shots on target with Christian Ramirez, so converting quite a few of his shots into goals. And actually, by virtue of the performance this season, in just the 3-year history of Indy 11, is now their all-time leading goal scorer and is going to continue to add to this tally. The 32-year-old this season showing he's got quite a bit left here in his career, has been fantastic for Indy 11. Also great in the air as well, but has been all over the world, played in Ireland, Korea, Iran, Malaysia. While he was in Ireland, scored in the Europa League. So he's an accomplished player over the course of his career, and now here in NASL has hit the ground running, and this is his first season. And a great signing for Tim Hankinson, as the pullback there from Mares will earn Carolina a free kick. Poor challenge there from Dylan Mares, and you see there Stephen Miller, the right back for Carolina, able to earn that set piece. You have confirmation of another goal from around NASL. Puerto Rico has gone in front through who else but Hector Ramos. Scored here in Carolina last weekend in the game we saw here on BN. As a good ball is there, played over the top towards Shipolani. He is onside, but with the ball rolling away, tried to move it towards the corner flag, in the end giving away the goal kick. Carolina, though, once again allowing goals at home. They've given up 10 goals in their last 5 games, have yet to earn a win in those 5 games. Kept just 1 clean sheet in their last 9. And once again, the woes continue, now giving up 12 goals in their last 6, and we still got another hour to play.
Look at Bush there, 40 years old school. Let's get the copas on. Oh, I used to love playing on the copas. The kangaroo leather just fit around your feet so well. You don't see that very often anymore. Well done, Bush. Go old school, baby.
Lonnie. Miller. Here's Connor Tobin. Loose touch, but is able to at least play into the feet of Paul Black. Now here for Nazmi Al-Badawi, one of NASL's 2 top leaders in assists, tied at 6 with Kevin Venegas of Minnesota United, their talented right back. As now Shipolani does well to fool Mares. Now he's charging into the area. The attempted clearance comes off of Shipolani, and now the defensive header will fall to the feet of Vukovic, who will sweep clear. And off the bounce, Connor Tobin just going to try and play it. Ward off the challenge of Don Smart, who still wins the ball, though. And now Torlado will charge forward. He'll play it into the run of Don Smart. Paul Black charging back is able to get in there ahead of Don Smart and earns the free kick in the process as Smart pulled him back.
And there you see the difference again between Indy and Carolina. Carolina careless in the middle of the field. Rodigan Spring smart, well defended by Black, and then consequently a foul by Mr. Smart. But those are the areas where they've punished themselves. Stupid fouls, which leads to a penalty. Set piece that's preventable, you know. Defending against Janicki, but Fitzgerald's going to come up better in those situations. And then, you know what, the goal of Fundy against Indy, you just tip your cap. Good goal. Carolina can't say that.
These goals from around the grounds. Fort Lauderdale at halftime level with Ottawa Fury 1-1, and Puerto Rico FC ahead of the Cosmos 1-0. Here's Shipolani. Good intricate work here just outside the area for the Railhawks. And now Shipolani, the South African, will have another crack at it. Crosses in is towards Bravo. Bush spills it, but does claim it once again. Carolina now back on the ball, and Brad Ring just deciding to let John Bush handle this one out of the back, and he'll play it long once again. The direction of Eula, but Miller able to hold on to it. Now go back all the way to the Carolina goalkeeper, and Akira Fitzgerald. He'll like to play it short here through Stephen Miller. Has not played in a ton of games, missed a good chunk of the season out due concussion, did Miller. He's mostly been a USL player in Wilmington and Tulsa, but now plying his trade in Carolina. Tobin. Back into the starting lineup for the first time since the start of the fall season. Here's Austin DeLuz, returning from suspension today. Bravo. Haven't heard a great deal from him so far, and he'll play the short free kick after being pulled back by Corey Miller. And now Watson with a good switched ball out towards Miller, who on the bounce is able to retrieve it. He'll run at Dylan Mayers, tries to go towards the byline. Good challenging from Mayers and forces the throw in.
And that's what you get from both sides. Smart and Mayers. They're so good defensively. They got great stamina. They can consistently maintain that over 90 minutes and do those, we call that 60, 70, 80-yard doggies, 18 to 18. Be good and effective going forward. Be even better defensively. And that's been Tim Hankinson's and Indy 11's mantra. You look at the numbers in terms of possession, it's not very high. You look at numbers in terms of probably shot accuracy, it's pretty darn high.
Indy 11, second worst in the league in accurate passes per game. Carolina, best in the league in that figure, and you see the disparity in results. Possession, not always everything, and Indy 11, both by virtue of their defending and also their goal scoring, which has now kind of become underrated with their reputation that they earned.
Simeone at Atletico Madrid, Mourinho coming to mind as well. Let the other team have the ball. That's when we're the most dangerous.
Shipolani was trying to run there at Mayers, but does earn the throw-in. Now directing traffic from near that corner flag. Back to playing it through Miller. Now Al-Badawi will have a chance. There's great creativity. We'll play it to the run of Miller, whose touch was heavy, and Janicki able to get it away, and will be out for a throw-in to Indy 11. We mentioned Janicki, one of NASL's Century Club honorees. Made his 100th appearance a couple of weeks ago, and NASL in the week on their official Twitter account honoring some of the guys that have been in NASL for over 100 appearances. A league making its return a couple of years ago, and now having some established veterans, including Janicki, who played a great deal for the San Antonio franchise, now plying his trade in Indianapolis with his old coach, Tim Hankinson.
A former MLS player as well, played for DC United. Very experienced player, one of the best defenders, central defenders in the league on both sides of the ball, showing his statistics in terms of his goals this year.
Ball over the top is towards Bravo, who stays onside. The shot, good save from John Bush, who was behind it. As Omar Bravo is actually, they're going to say he was offside there. Bravo not happy with the call. As see there the run peeling off the defender Palmer.
That's tight. That's
the
very,
referee
very
raising
tight.
his flag.
Because Janicki might have kept it onside. Not the nearest defender, the right fullback, but the further of the two center backs in the left zone. That's just a great run. You see him just coming across those defenders, timing his run based on the service. Just a nickel offside.
Offensive header from Tobin as we're past the 40-minute mark here in the first half. As the diving attempt there by Lavelle Palmer.
That goes against Omar Bravo by putting his shoulder before the ball arrives there. And probably a correct call. Palmer taking the brunt of a collision with Bravo, going Lavelle Palmer's way.
We haven't seen too much of Omar Bravo in terms of being on the ball tonight. It seems like Indy 11's strategy defensively is trying to get the ball out to these flanks. As you see here, on one of these flanks is Shipalani, who's charging forward. Going to try and figure out what his cross is going to be. Running at Vukovic, and Vukovic does well defensively to win it back for Indy 11. And now we'll try and get it forward here through Suleiman Yula. Thomas, you kind of threw your hands up there on that run from Shipalani. What went wrong for him there?
Well, he's such a frustrating player. Again, I've coached against him. He can really hurt you in so many ways. The last two games that we've done here on BN Sports, he's been outside of a great pass on the Bravo goal last week. He's been non-existent. And if they can't get a threat out wide, they don't get it on the left because Deleuze is a possession player, doesn't stretch the defense, doesn't get behind it. Now you're reliant on Omar Bravo because Fundy doesn't have great speed to break teams down. So it becomes fairly easy for Indiana just to get their numbers behind the ball, stay a little bit higher, and being able now to keep Carolina in really negative ball possession, so to speak. And Shipalani last year killed us. Every time they would play him early, and he would just run at defenders. Now he just is almost too cute, too fancy, too cheeky. Go at people with your pace, make a move, and just get in line and serve Bravo and Fundy with the service they need. So he's coming to a complete still stand as a right winger. You got to be
Deleuze into the run of Al-Badawi. Vukovic, though, again doing his work defensively. Only plays it, though, into the feet of Stephen Miller. Going to try and retain possession here. He will through Shipalani. He's now going to run a little bit closer to the area. Will play the cross towards the far post, but missing everybody. Probably trying to find Bravo there, but in the end, a goal kick for Indy 11. Who did score first in this one. There are 8 wins, 1 draw, no losses when scoring first, so earned 25 of the 27 points available. Carolina, a win, a draw, and 7 losses when conceding first, so earning just 4 of the available 27. See some of the fans here at Wake Med have gotten used to this pattern. Carolina looking like a threat going forward, but just giving up too many goals in the back, and in the end, down here 2-1. Wake Med side able to win it in the air. Good intervention, though, from Tobin. Tries to play it line for Deleuze, and a throw in for the Railhawks. See there, Colin Clark, their manager, not really sitting down a great deal, barking out orders. You'd have to imagine he's frustrated. We asked him whether or not it was tactics or individual performances, and said if I knew the answer, I would have fixed it by now. As Watson will try the distance shot, but always slicing at it and going well wide. But Thomas, you've been in that situation as a manager when things aren't going well. How far and wide do you look for answers?
Oh, I've done so many different things. Chris, let him come in one day, think we're going to hit him hard with a punishment, and take him on a bus for a team building trip to the beach. Relax. Has worked sometimes, hasn't worked sometimes. Punishment works to a certain extent as well, putting a little bit of fear in them. didn't work sometimes. So as a coach, you're lost. You have a very tough task getting a team back on the rail, so to speak. And if they lose confidence, and that's what a great coaches make a difference, the man managers like Pep Guardiola, like Simeone, players die for, becomes very important, because you can win games by just true grit. They don't have enough quality right now, Chris, to do that. So he's got to find ways to get 3 or 4 guys in the field in the axis that just are going to say, you know what, over our dead bodies. As I said earlier, a win is a win right now. Doesn't matter how. They continue to try to play good football, but they're right now not good enough to break teams down.
With 30 seconds left here in the added time, Duluth trying to win the long ball. In the end, possession given away by Lavelle Palmer. We'll see if the Railhawks can fashion a chance for an equalizer just before halftime. Duluth for Watson. Beat a Fondi. Bit of possession here, but need to get a ball in the area here with not much time left. Now Cipollani will measure it. It's far post towards Bravo. Got something on it. And in the end, the corner is given away, but the referee pulls it back for halftime. You see the frustration there from Omar Bravo, the striker for the Carolina Railhawks. His partner, Matt Fondi, on the score sheet for Carolina, but it's defensive frustrations yet again for Colin Clark. Greg Janicki and Eamon Zayed scoring for Indy 11. We'll come back with halftime analysis here. It's Carolina 2. As we await here the second half, Indy 11 up by 2-1. Once again, Carolina conceding goals at home. 2 in this opening half hour. This one there you see Janicki on the set piece, Zayed on the penalty. And now Carolina is going to chase an equalizer here in this second half. Beyond the defensive mistakes that they've already made, Thomas Rangen, what can Carolina do to chase this equalizer, do a little bit better in the attack?
Well, I think that Colin Clark has given him a little bit of a tongue lashing at halftime, and correctly so. See if his team responds in that second half. See if his ball circulation, you look at the build-up, it's too slow, it's too methodical, it's too predictable right now for Indy to defend. So in transition, they need to go forward quicker. They need to get better movement in midfield and up front. If not, you got to make some changes.
Tortolano going to try and play the ball over the top towards Mayers. A defensive header from Becky will still leave it on here for Mayers. Now here's Vukovic, who's very good at playing crosses in. He'll try one edge of the area. Zayed was there. In the end, a good clearance there from Connor Tobin.
And there you see the difference, Chris. Great quality cross in, great quality corner kick, leads to a goal in the first half, versus Carolina that really hasn't got any good servers from wide positions. And that's how Bravo and Fondi really do their work. That's where they're productive, in the 18-yard box. Cipollani's been poor. Duluth doesn't get really end line. Black occasionally, so they become somewhat of an easy team to defend against. And Colin Clark and his team needs to figure out in the second half what could work for them. And I would go to my bench, quite frankly. I would say right now, Shriver, I know you're a little tired, but I need to get another good 30 minutes out of you. You spearhead our attack to make a change, just for the sake of making a change right now, to see if it gives them some energy.
You mentioned the aerial work. It's actually something that Carolina excels at. They've lead the league with 7 goals via a header. And part of that is the great supply off those wings, leading the league also in accurate crosses per game. So something that has been missing from their attack is something that they've been great at all season.
Yep.
Now Indy 11 going to try and work some possession. They've kind of sprung to life here on the road. They won away from home just once, and have scored just 5 goals in 8 games away from Michael Carroll. But tonight, scoring twice here, so making up 40% of that goal tally here in this one, as Bravo has his shirt pulled back by Palmer. Bravo asking for the booking, but our referee tonight, Mark Kadlecik.
And it was Toronto as well. His countrymen both played for the national team, both competed against each other. Chivas, Cruz Azul, icons in Mexican football, and great to see them in NASL.
Good low ball in there from Becky, as Bravo now sprayed out wide towards Miller, but it was a wayward ball, and given away cheaply. You know, Bravo won't be happy with himself for that. One thing, though, that would make this complete for Carolina is a Bravo goal. Bravo has scored in 3 games for Carolina, and all 3 of those, Matt Fondi has also scored. So if they are to stay true to form, Fondi has already scored tonight, so you got to imagine that the Bravo goal is on its way, but does not look like it so far from the threats that they've had here in Carolina. A little bit of frustration boiling over there. The captain, Al Badawi, having a go at some Indy players, and we'll see here what the problem is there. It looks like Eula and Ring as well not happy, and there you see the central midfielder Brad Ring just having a word there with Al Badawi. And interesting, given the captain's armband being worn by Al Badawi, they need to be pulled away from that.
It sums up pretty much Indy. You know, they're tough, they're hard to play against. They keep their composure in those situations. Carolina is not, and that's why they've been successful. That's a trademark. Oof, that could have been a yellow card there. Hard tackle on Al Badawi.
There you see the sliding challenge in there from Corey Miller. Didn't make much contact, but he also didn't make contact with the ball, and just the danger of it forced Ted Letzig to pull it back. Now working possession here through Austin Deleuze. Try and play the 1-2 there with Al Badawi. Instead out wide here for T. Shipolani. Going to leave it here for Stephen Miller, but he's unable to keep it in play. It will come out for a goal kick.
Yeah, that's a decoy run by Miller. The ball needs to get whipped in. It's such a poor pass, just from a tactical standpoint. Even if it gets to Miller, he's going nowhere. He's running towards the end line. That's a negative ball. Shipolani's just lost his way in this game. Go at people. Do what you're good at. Don't try to change your game. And his unpredictability right now is causing problems for his teammates as well. You make runs in the box, Chris, near post, far post. The ball doesn't come, it doesn't come. All of a sudden, also a sense of frustration. Raf, I've seen already his hand up once or twice, thinking that ball should have been played.
Here you see Suleiman Yola earned the penalty, but outside of that, it's not had a lot to do. One of the things that we haven't talked about, Thomas, is both of these teams lining up today in a 4-4-2. Kind of an old school game that way. Tactically, have you seen the battle play out?
Pretty much everything has evened themselves out, with the exception of 2 or 3 moments. A set piece, actually 2 set pieces if you look at Indy right now. A PK and a corner. A good goal taken by Fondi up front. Back 4 of Indy doesn't give a lot of chances away, so I give that to them. Midfield 4 of Carolina has been a little bit better technically in terms of possession, but can't provide their front runners with enough opportunities. And then individual, I wouldn't put him on Messi level, but great players are the difference makers. Zayed is a difference maker. He gets the PK with Yulan and converts. And that's where it comes down to.
Good ball here from Deleuze, but the frustration, see there, Torlado winning the ball back for Indy 11, and now they'll look to counter here through Don Smart. Ball over the top for Zayed, and he's going to have to chase it. Able to at least keep it in play. We'll leave it back here for Nemanja Vukovic. Now for Mayers. Tried to work the return for Zayed.
They initially go forward with real purpose, and if they can't continue, then they're very patient in their build-up. They've just found a nice rhythm. Get it? Can we go quick like they try to do with Zayed right there? If not, don't force it. Let's find supporting players and get a throw in and get our numbers up again and make it hard for Carolina when they maintain and get now possession to have good numbers on the ball and do a repress. Introduced by São Paulo with Chile in the last 4 or 5 years.
Omar will try and get it in via the throw-in towards Don Smart, but in the end, Carolina just marshaling that one out for...
Pressing and repressing. Indy is very, very good at that. See, now they stay high. They're going to force Brett Rings coming up. That's great. Playing through lines forward.
Acres of space for Cipollani to run through. Al-Badawi out wide here for Deleuze. He'll measure his cross. It's in towards Bravo. The punch is in from John Bush. Miller with a return ball, and it goes in! I'm not sure he meant that as a shot, but either way, the Carolina Railhawks have their equalizer through Stephen Miller. It's Carolina 2, Indy 11-2.
It all starts with the initial great ball and out wide to Black. That left cultivated left foot was Deleuze, I'm not sure. And then John Bush does well coming over his line, Chris, but can't backpedal enough. Janicki doesn't protect him because it's the first thing as a center back you learn. Your goalkeeper's your line, I retreat and get on the line. And then Miller trying to cross, falls just perfectly for him, far post, and we're in a game again, 2-2. Some unexpected goal scorers and some unexpected goals as well. Great example, though, by Carolina. Playing through pressure, finding Zayed, or no, Al-Badawi higher up the field, and then eventually gets to the foot of, I think it was Black, am I correct? That served that ball in?
It was Deleuze.
Oh, it was Deleuze in the left foot.
Al-Badawi trying to play the return ball there on that right-hand side.
Way more urgency by Carolina right now.
And now, kind of a pretty fun finale here. Already 4 goals in this one, and Al-Badawi earning the challenge. And he earns the support from the fans here at Wake Med. Let's have another look at the goal.
Janicki, you should stay, because your goalkeeper pushes off the line. Miller recognizes that, tries to get it back in the mixer, we call that. Gets a little bit fortunate, but great recognition, good pressure. Second phase balls, we call that, Chris, back in the box, and then good things will happen. Tongue lashing has helped. Good energy, they're responding to their coach.
That'll be Cipollani to take this one. Hit the first defender there, still on though Watson. Good ball on the feet of Al-Badawi, low cross in. Still on here though for Matt Watson. He'll try it again with Nazmi Al-Badawi into the channel. Good ball for T. Cipollani to hit. Low crosses in towards Fondi. Not sure who got the contact on that one, but either way, a dangerous threat once again from the Railhawks.
Yeah, it was. I mean, again, they're able now to regain possession by 30, 40 yards away from goal. That gives you the opportunity to get numbers in higher positions. Al-Badawi, that great little ball to Cipollani. Great run first post to Fondi. Good defending as well by Greg Janicki and Corey Miller. You got to give them some credit as well. Bravo lurking at that far post.
As we have a look at the live scores from around NASL, the Strikers going in front once again in their debut at Central Broward Stadium through the former Juventus striker Amauri, 36 years of age, the Brazilian, a Chilena for Amauri to put the Strikers in front. It was, according to the tweets that I'm reading,
do our listeners,
a great goal.
Viewers know what a Chilena is?
A bicycle kick.
There you go, Chris.
In the penalty area.
Love to see that one.
Amauri, and so his 3rd goal in 2 games puts the Strikers in front in their debut, or their fans that have migrated from Lockhart to Central Broward Stadium, converted cricket ground.
Our own Kevin Egan is at the game, by the way.
As Fondi plays in the channel. Bravo stays onside. Omar Bravo! Good sliding challenge in. Indy 11 recovering. Still on, though, for the Railhawks. Cipollani leads to the feet of Deleuze. Good deflection in there as the defensive work from Greg Janicki is spot on. A 3rd time of asking for Cipollani. To the feet of Deleuze, tries to play it towards that mixer. And in the end, defended well as the onslaught from Carolina continues. Good ball, though, by Miller. Takes a deflection. Poor ball, though, from Miller. Good back heel there from Bravo, and the attempt at the sliding cross by Black comes out for the goal kick.
Great sequence by Carolina. Just good ball possession. Fondi just slotting there, and that's a great run by Omar Bravo. Holding that line again. Takes one too many touches. Omar, God, slot that right away. Defenders are recovering. Bush narrowing down the angle. A great forward like Bravo would like to get that back, because normally he buries that.
Carolina, though, showing their attacking attacking intent.
Black and Miller are playing so high up the pitch right now. They're getting crosses in. In Miller's case, obviously, a goal. Mr. Bush is slowing things down right now. That's the experience. We're under the cush right now, guys. We need a little break.
There you see Bush playing the long ball through the cloud right now. The smoke let out after the goal still affecting the view here. You wonder if that's what the conversation was about between John Bush and the referee, Mark Kedledzik. Heard there the support behind that goal. Good crowd tonight at Wake Med here on a Saturday night. They've seen a fun one so far, not yet at the hour mark, and we've already seen 4 goals. And probably say at this point we're odds on for a 5th. Turlau to the feet of Don Smart. To measure his option, play the cross towards Zayed, try to get something on it, but a duo there of Miller and Becky doing well to defend. Still on there for Dylan Mayers. Try and play it through Miller, but instead it takes a deflection, will come out for the corner. But you see, though, the frustration from all of the substitutes warming up there by the corner flag. It's actually given away as a goal kick. Not sure I agree with that call. Let's have a look here. Mayers and Miller with the tussle here by the corner flag. Mayers going to try and play through Miller. Comes off of him there. And no doubt that's a corner.
Yeah, absolutely.
But a poor call from our referee. And now Carolina will charge forward through Watson. Here's Black.
This has been a fun game so far. 60 minutes in, 5 goals. Is this Sevilla, maybe, today? No.
Al-Badawi into the area, tries the shot. John Bush not comfortable diving for it, but going wide. Yet more chances here created by the Railhawks.
Crowd's getting back into it as well. The atmosphere is just rising. Watson again, as he does so well with his partner. Al-Badawi just from distance.
See there the fans once again getting into it behind the goal. Header on there by Eula, but a better flick there by Deleuze, and good job by Bravo to hold up the play. Luso under pressure, maintaining possession, but had to go over the touchline to do so. It'll be a throw in for Indy 11. Have not shown much in the way of attacking intent here in this second half. We saw here last week at Wake Med how quickly that can flip with this Railhawks team. Puerto Rico were behind the ball for much of the first half, but came out of the second half, created some chances, and scored 2 quick goals. So wouldn't put it past Tim Hankinson's men here to get a third. The Mexican Turlau. Spray it out to this left-hand side to Vukovic. Now Mayers with some space to run into. He's going to run at Stephen Miller, going to charge inside. Going to play it for Eula into the area. Suleiman Eula the cross, but a good sliding challenge in from Connor Tobin. After hearing a lot about how that back line's conceded a bunch, Connor Tobin putting in the effort to marshal that away for a corner.
Magnificent pass there from Dylan Mayers. That's great defending. You're absolutely right, because Zayed is on the doorstep, back post, just for an easy tap in. Eula just shows now that little change of direction and speed that he has that we didn't see up to this point. And that's a way to get back in the game for Indy. Take the crowd and the energy out of the home team and attack, as they always do, lethal.
As the cross will come in, Turlau with the header. Good save, though, by Fitzgerald. And on the follow, Janicki diving in to try and play it back in, but actually a foul given away there against Indy 11. But Gerardo Turlau nearly scoring his first goal for Indy 11. A good cross there by Vukovic, and Turlau able to direct it on goal, forcing Fitzgerald another tough save.
The Achilles heel is still open, getting stretched and stretched.
Here's Bravo. Here for Nazmi Al-Badawi with all the space in the world. Cipollani coming in off that right-hand side. Will he point to the spot or give away a free kick? It's a penalty. The dramatic pause there from our referee, Mark Kedledzik.
Look at Janicki pointing at the spot outside of the 18-yard line. Just looking at a little divot there.
Cipollani
right now,
earning it That for me is outside the area. Greg Janicki's challenge in. For you, is that a penalty?
Yes. It is outside the area. It's a 50-50, Chris. I say give it to the attacker each and every time. We need more goals in this game, and if we continue to give cynical defenders within inches the opportunity to hack people down and get away with the free kick, I think, you know what, if it's a 50-50, it should always go the attacking way.
And now the referee going to have a conversation with his assistant. Is there reversal of this call on the cards? Here's some boos from the crowd.
I think there is.
And you wonder if the change is coming. Let's see the referee signal anything. Tim Hankinson looking on there with a concerned eye. You have a look again. Edge of the area, Shipolani there. Clearly for me the challenge starts outside the area from Janicki. And it is indeed a reversal of the call.
Ooh.
It'll be played edge of the area there. There you see the vanishing spray there played around the ball, and Bilal will have a conversation there with Al-Badawi, and you'd have to say that it's a pretty correct call. I understand your point though, Thomas, that you want to reward the attackers and don't want to necessarily penalize players for cynical challenges, but in the end, a dangerous set piece. There you see the 10 yards. They're established by the referee. Leaves the wall just outside the area. You do wonder, though, from a short distance, what you can necessarily do to free up space or create the window for the goal.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Most players would like to get it back, to get it really over the wall. This is either going to be overpowering, hope it gets through the wall, or some brilliant, magnificent player that's able to lift it and get it down again to get it on target.
The Omar Bravo to run at it, and it'll go far post, and a good save there by Bush. Pairing aside, Miller on the follow.
Miller is feeling it, Chris. He is feeling it. Great strike for Bravo. We talked about, can you go over the wall? Probably not. You got to go shoelaces. Probably on the goalkeeper's side, which he does. Try to overpower Bush. Not against Mr. John Bush. He'll eat it alive each and every day. Miller with the second phase follow-up. Just off target. Wow.
I wonder if also, if maybe the goal there was maybe try and get a rebound off Fondi. He was threatening there. As our first substitution, we'll have Dylan Mayers come off.
Yeah, Lacroix coming in. We've seen Gordon, we've seen Smart, we've seen Lacroix, we've seen Dylan Mayers. So that's a...
And it'll be Duke Lacroix to come on. Coming back from injury, he's been out for a decent period of time, so...
Perfect. For 25 minutes, he'll give you something going forward. He's honest enough to trek as well defensively. His speed is something that's an advantage for Indy. And he'll play on the side where Colin Miller has been so successful. So a smart move by Hankinson, although it might have been an injury, but still put in the right player. Challenging
on Bravo, but Watson now with some space to operate. We'll leave it out to the aforementioned Stephen Miller. Here's Shipolani. I forget how his ball is. Gives away possession, though. In midfield there, available for Ring. Deleuze slides in well and earns possession back again for the Railhawks. Here's Watson again, charging forward. Trying to work across Lacroix. Al-Badawi. Try to play it in for Deleuze, but now Shipolani has got space. They'll leave her for Watson, but in a pretty tough area. Now Lacroix is away. Excuse me, that's Omar Gordon who's charging forward. Ball in towards Zayed. Oh, but a necessary intervention there by Tobin. There's actually a double substitution. Didn't see Gordon come on there for Eula. Cordalo available at the edge of the area. Here's Lacroix. He'll try the shot. Saved there by Fitzgerald. Tobin sweeps away. The rebound was on, but luckily for the Railhawks, it fell to a gray shirt instead of a white one. To give away in possession here. Here's Brad Ring, who's going to try the shot from distance. Lacroix, though, able to keep it for 11 here through Vukovic. He'll try the cross near post. Trebecki able to get the defensive header on. It'll come away for a corner. So a second substitution there is Omar Gordon. The Jamaican is on as well.
Gordon again, it's a great choice. Out wide, great speed, He's trying to go far post. Zayed again right there, but good defending by Black.
As the crosses comes in, good glancing header there by Deleuze, and now the counter is on, and Omar Bravo, and trying to start one, is pulled back by Brad Ring, and it'll be a free kick to Carolina. Indy 11, it would certainly favor them here if this one goes past the 75-minute mark. Once again, taking points in their last 2 games after the clock strikes 75, a goal against Ottawa Fury in extra time of the second half. And then last week against Rayo OKC, Colin Falvey scoring after the 80th minute mark. They've scored 11 goals after the 75-minute mark.
Yeah, and they're not sweating it.
The last 2 wins coming there as well. Here's Fondi in a perfect space, trying to chest it down for Bravo. It is still on, though, for the Mexican. Good slide attempt there to win it back. Now on the overlap. The cross comes in, but it's overcooked in the direction of Bravo. And in the end, a poor ball in there from Paul Black on that left-hand side.
The willingness for Omar Bravo to go where it hurts, to win second balls, to keep his attack alive is incredible. After he's played it to Black, his running the box was masterful still at his age. Nice to see that good players, international players, are contributing.
It'll be Brian Shriver to come on.
I called that one. I've given him 30 minutes. He gets 20. All right, fair enough. That's a great move, too. Fresh, healthy Shriver can hurt teams.
Will be Shriver who comes on. As you see there, the live scores. Cosmos equalizing in Puerto Rico, so it's 1-1 there. The Strikers finishing up a 3-1 victory in their opening game at Central Broward Stadium. So well done to Fort Lauderdale to pick up pretty big 3 points there, pumping up their tally up to 11 points for the fall season. They will certainly hope that Indy 11 drops points here to Carolina. They top the fall right now after already clinching spring season playoff berth, as Shriver's miss there is actually beneficial here for Carolina. He's now on the charge. Brian Shriver tried to play it low for Al Badawi, but in the end intervened from Indy, as charging forward was Lacroix. Now for a throw, though, to Carolina. Dangerous situation here for Carolina here in the back with a striker for each center back, but through Fitzgerald, they'll settle the play. And again, Carolina still with 2 substitutions left. You wonder if it's looking for a third or looking to consolidate their point right now earned against the league leaders, well as the spring champions right now in the standings coming into this one. Indy topping the fall table, 19 points from 9. Carolina in 8th with just 9 from 8. Combined, Indy 11 sitting in 1st, and Carolina in 7th. Is now Carolina charging forward here through Shriver, trying to get something on it towards Fondi. It is still on here for the big striker. Matt Fondi back out wide here for Stephen Miller to measure the cross. It's in. Bravo charging forward. He got something on it, but sails over John Bush's goal. Omar Bravo unable to direct it on target. Bush plays the goal kick. Watson here for Tordao. Here is Omar Gordon charging forward. Plays it to the feet of Lacroix. Into the air. A low cross comes in, but a good intervention there from Miller. Things is starting to click here for this Railhawks back line. Putting in the effort to stop the supply That time it was Miller. We've seen Tobin here in the second half do the same kind of thing. Here's Hurtado. Intervention, though, as Al-Badawi will charge forward. Here's Bravo. Back for Deleuze. Into the feet of Al-Badawi, trying to pick out the pass. Tries to find Watson, but coming over to intervene was Vukovic, and now the counter is on here through Omar Gordon for Indy 11. To the feet here. And it's Gordon trying to get the return pass there given away. This is Eula. Defensive header there by Carolina. I should say earlier, I said that Eula came off for Omar Gordon. It was actually Don Smart who did, so Eula remaining in the game as a strike partner.
So Indy is gone with the two wide players who've done a lot of miles in this game. Smart again to getting him off the pitch, and more so maybe from a defensive standpoint. That's a I'm not so sure about that one, but that's an awkward central defender trying to dribble out of danger. But gives, talk about danger, gives now Indy a good opportunity with that cultivated left foot of Vukovic to get something. I'm sure they're looking for Janicki again.
The in-swinging goal. Surely, the cross, surely on the way as Fitzgerald there is able to stay behind it and catch and see if he can distribute here. He'll try the long throw into the feet of Deleuze, and now possession established here for Carolina.
History tells you, Chris, that this game is for Indy for the taking. We were here last week. Carolina gave really 2 points away. Colin Clark about that in their tie versus Puerto Rico. Carolina can just sustain this energy and just the pace of the game and just make it a little bit hectic, which they've done. They'll put Indy on their back foot.
Bondi trying to leave her for Bravo. His hold-up play has not been up to his standard tonight. Some of the little flicks have just not come off with the weight necessary. Fitzgerald will play. Now Matt Watson shouts for man on. He eats. Here's Becky. Or Stephen Miller. To the feet of Al-Badawi. Brian Shriver, the substitute. Does actually lead the Railhawks in goal scorer with 5, now level with Matt Fondi.
2 years ago, Brian Shriver was the leading goal scorer in the league, playing for Carolina.
Black into the feet of Bravo. Good dummy, though. Fondi edge of the area. It's on Bravo with appeals for a penalty. Fondi, though, scored earlier on one of these kinds of turns, and now just kind of looking for the outlet, finds it through Watson. Al-Badawi play into the run of Brian Shriver. See if he can find the cross. It comes in low. Fondi is in there. He takes a tumble. Now Janicki will have time and space to clear this one, and he's able to do so. Good defensive header, though, from Becky, and now Al-Badawi threatening again, trying to find the run of Fondi, but
the key for them is winning balls far away from goal, which have done a great job at, and being able to start the attack from higher positions. That's been the secret to success for Carolina right now, and getting balls in the box with those great runners, looking for first and second ball scraps, whatever it might be. A Miller goal that's might have been a cross, but lobs over the goalkeeper. And Carolina's made this game somewhat ugly, energetic, and it's been in their favor right now.
Al-Badawi playing it over the top, but good intervention there by Indy 11. The poor ball there from Tirado. And Ring going to try and spring Lacroix forward, but in the end, coming out for a throw-in, and now the referee will blow his whistle to allow a substitution. Will also allow for some Carolina players to catch a breather. See if we can get a look at the substitution. It will be Eula, so it is confirmed this time as 99 will come off. It'll be Nicky Patterson, so a forward for a midfielder. So you see there the intent of Tim Hankinson to consolidate their position, see if maybe they can find a counter through their speedsters. But a third substitution is Nicky Patterson, so more of a center midfield of three in here, as now Deleuze will charge forward into that midfield. Fondi trying to leave it back, but Ring's challenge on Deleuze gives away a free kick.
4-5-1, Chris, correctly so. He's trying to get more numbers in midfield. That's where Carolina had some success. Leave Zayed high, have some speed out wide, and bring Patterson in the middle with Torrado and Brett Ring just to make sure that they control the middle of the park.
Patterson did lose his place in this team after Torrado came in. There's a poor ball there from Becky, is actually going to lead to a giveaway. And now Omar Gordon going to charge here into the penalty area. Good turn there from Omar Gordon. He'll try the shot.
And that's what Gordon, Lacroix can give you late in games, Chris. Isolating with Miller, with Becky, who struggled, by the way, today, giving up a PK, unnecessary loss of possession. And then they're dangerous.
Omar Gordon, the Jamaican, 24 years old. Recently with Montego Bay United in Jamaica, where Tim Hankinson was actually coaching prior to arriving in Indy.
I want that job.
Sounds pretty decent. Coaching sports in Jamaica, as Patterson will play it out here, and it seemed like they were doing so for Deleuze, but given that he's back up and running, it'll just be simple. He'll pass it back here to Indy 11. Al-Badawi will play it to the goal of John Bush. And he'll pick it up. 80 minutes gone by. Carolina 2, Indy 11-2. The goals in this game for Carolina coming through Matt Fondi and Stephen Miller. For 11, a penalty converted by Eamon Zayed and a set-piece header from Greg Janicki, their center back, gave them their 2 goals. Here's Lacroix charging at Miller, but a good challenge in there from the right back, and Carolina back on it. Fondi doing well to let it run, and now he'll run past Corey Miller. Good cross and good possession here from Fondi. Fondi charging towards goal, and he'll reward himself with a shot, but in the end, good intervention and recovery from Corey Miller. And now the Mexican Torrado will charge out of the back, but poorly give away. Deleuze sweeping and finding the feet of Bravo, who turns himself, the Mexican. Black, the Englishman from Rochdale, England, given away there through Deleuze, and now charging forward is Gordon. Here you see Zayed in the middle, Lacroix off to the left. Gordon will play it to Lacroix, charging into the area, running at Miller, trying to play it on his right foot. Gonna leave it here for Torrado. He denies the shot opportunity, instead leaves it here for Ring. Now back for Palmer. Indy 11 enjoying a nice spell of possession. They're through Lacroix. Back for Ring, and now there's Vukovic on this left-hand side. Good challenge in, though, from Shriver, but it'll only come out as far as Janicki, who's been massive at the back, and as well as scoring. And the looping ball here is for Vukovic. Miller, though, coming across. He's done well at this right-back position. Struggled at times defensively, but has done his work very well at the back, as Fondi, in trying to maintain possession, gives away a throw-in. Vukovic now for Omar Gordon. He'll come in off the right, try and fashion himself a shooting opportunity. He will have a go, but after taking a deflection, Fitzgerald able to catch.
And the momentum has shifted a little bit. And the normal ups and downs, ebbs and flows of games, that happens, you know. But Indy's done a good job by bringing Patterson into midfield next to Torrado and Brett Ring, maintaining a little bit more possession and just taking the pressure off their back four. And now it's up to Carolina again to rev up that energy with 10 minutes left, or under 10 minutes left. Because I think that If this stays this way, Colin Clark, if we talk to him again, we'll say a Rudel loss of 2 more points. That's 4 points at home in the last 2 games that they desperately need.
You would imagine they would have pointed to this time in the season as the time for them to pick up points with 4 home games in 5. As Lacroix again threatening. Low cross is in, but it's straight at Becky. Now Miller will play it to the feet of Shriver. You see how exhausted Stephen Miller is. The amount that he's charged up and down that right flank. Is Watson doing well to turn past Ring and maintain possession. Matt Watson in the center of the park continues his run. Able to leave it here for Al-Badawi. A good shift there from Watson as Deleuze now picks it up from his left-hand side. Gonna get it onto his right foot. Leave it back for Paul Black. Instead of taking the cross, he'll leave it again here with Deleuze. Now here's Stephen Miller, who had the goal earlier on. Instead, leaves it with Al-Badawi. Back with Miller. They'll play it back because they didn't really have anything on there. Not too much space to operate. Indy 11 taking care of things. Shriver now going to try and play it in the feet of Fondi. Good hold-up play by the striker. He'll now cut it onto his left. He'll try the shot, but the curl comes, but after it's too far wide, they'll come out for a goal kick.
The amazing ability by Matt Fondi, a big body, as you can see right here, but Janicki drapes all over him to get out of tight spaces is pretty amazing. Dips his shoulder one way, he's able to go the other way, and he's got a little change of speed as well for the big fella. The reason why he's been productive for this team, and just needs to understand when he should go to goal and when he can maybe go to Bravo or somebody else in the box, which that option was on the last time.
As we have the scores continuing to come in from across NASL, there you see FC Edmonton away to the Tampa Bay Rowdies, getting a goal through Daryl Fordyce. One of the best defensive teams in the league continues that form, and it seems like all they need is a goal a game, and it's what they've gotten here in this fall. As Shriver's now here on the charge for Carolina. Running into the area. Good challenge, though, in from Brad Ring. And there you see the frustration from Shriver.
Vukovic does well by steering him into Brad Ring. And we call it into traffic, because you don't want to get Shriver go outside with his speed. Get him into your numbers. Ring recovers, wins the ball cleanly. That is so good defensively. Very rare to give him 2 goals, by the way.
Yeah, they've gone 15 in 19 so far this season, giving up a goal or fewer per game. So this is just the 5th time out for Tim Hankinson's men that they've conceded 2 goals. They've lost just twice all season. Certainly do not want to give up a goal late here. That would earn them a 3rd loss this season. Bilal again. Haven't seen him really ping those passes to create opportunities for his teammates. Tobin will play it all the way back to Akira Fitzgerald. Now Al-Badawi with acres of space to run into. You see some of the exhaustion coming into play as Al-Badawi will play it over the top here for Bravo. Corey Miller coming across to try and win it, but Bravo does well to trap it. Here's Deleuze for Al-Badawi. Here's Matt Watson to the feet of Shriver. See a lot of congestion there in the center of the park. And now they'll get it out wide here through Black. They'll cross in. Deleuze was there, but Ring able to get it clear. Again for Black. That 2nd time of asking. This time we'll leave it for Watson. Shriver again. Played in every game for Carolina this season now that he's come on as a substitute in this one. Watson in the feet of Deleuze. Back for Watson, who could have continued his run. Instead plays it for Shriver. Stays onside, but the cross from him is mishit and out for a goal kick. You can imagine Shriver with that kind of space would have fancied a better cross towards goal.
A pretty good build-up, finding the open man eventually, which is Brian Shriver. Good runs you can see off the shoulders of center backs by Fondi, Bravo. Also Deleuze coming in on the 18, close to the 12 yard. Shriver, you need to get that in the box. Give those forwards an opportunity.
The long ball aerial duel, one there by Carolina by virtue of it coming out to touch. See just a little bit of sluggishness there as Carolina tries to build out of the back. And at a jogging pace right now with the effort both sides have put into this one. Here's Deleuze. Into the channel for Bravo. Peels for offside, not given. Bravo into the area. Tries to cross to a Shriver, and you would have bet your life you would be able to direct that on target. Unable to do so. Miller on the follow. Cross comes in, but on the defensive header will come out for a corner kick.
Open up your body, Brian Shriver, and hit that with the inside of your right foot instead of the outside of your right foot. Michael Palmer not happy.
See if we can get a replay of that chance for Shriver, but as we approach the end of the 90, cross will be played. Al-Badawi playing short for Watson. Probably should have tried the shot. Deleuze on the follow. Takes a deflection on the shot. Is Drew Becky, but he just gets underneath it and will sail out for a goal kick. Quite a few chances there. Al-Badawi trying to play it to Watson, who you wonder if he was trying to direct it towards goal or direct it towards a teammate. Either way, a miss hit.
Oh, in those situations, you want to go to goal. There's so many bodies there. Could be a deflection, could be a rebound. And if it happens to go to one of your teammates, that's fair enough. Orlando coming in. Will Deleuze. Hey, the fat lady hasn't sung yet, Chris, and it's Indy 11, so we've been there before. We've done their games.
Drama still on here at Wake Med. Approach the final 30 seconds of the 90. Tobin. Played here to the just on Orlando. You wonder if maybe his pace or creativity will fashion just one more chance, or maybe Colin Clark could have gone to his bench a little bit sooner to allow Orlando to make an impact. Here's Shriver.
Yeah, because look at the impact Shriver's made. Yes, he didn't score. Great opportunities for some crosses. Should have scored, actually, but he's given this team something they lacked.
Poor giveaway there by Orlando. Is now charging forward is Gordon, the substitute, but a good defensive challenge in from Drew Becky. This Carolina side has gotten stuck in after the 2 goals that they've conceded. Made plenty of good defensive plays here in the final hour of this one. Orlando. Or Tobin coming back.
Colin Clark's teams, they always got stuck in, Chris. That lacked a little bit the last game in the first half. This is Colin Clark's personality, and his team is reflecting that right now.
Tobin trying to play into the channel for Shriver, but intervention there from Miller. And the ball will come all the way back to Fitzgerald and goal.
Indy at the end of the day is going to say, can we get one? Yes. If not, a tie again on the road is okay. We win the majority of our home games. We've won only one on the road, but we've tied quite a few of them, and that's why we're in first place.
Carolina, though, with 2 minutes to create an equalizer here, as we had 3 minutes added on. We've just about played one. Shriver into the channel for Bravo, able to settle it down, trying to return for Fondi. A poor clearance, though, from Orlando there with the opportunity. Good job to keep it in play. Here's Shriver going to try and play the 1-2. Flick on from Al-Badawi. Left for Fondi. Tried to play it for Shriver, but in the midst of all those bodies, could not maintain possession. It was good interplay, though, between those two Railhawks.
So much more crisper ball and player movement at this particular time.
Bravo in for Fondi, trying to run past Miller, but Janicki comes in, but Fondi doing well to intervene. Fondi out wide for Black. He'll measure the cross. It is towards Fondi, but a good defensive header from Janicki, who's had plenty of those. Orlando again, going to play it to the feet of Shriver. On the turn, Shriver for Orlando. Can he get the equalizer? He appeals for a handball, and it's given. A penalty late in the tail, given against Indy 11, and Carolina from the penalty spot will have a chance to earn 3 points at home.
And the reaction of Indy sums it up. Nobody's complaining, Chris. This obviously is a 100% PK and puts Carolina in a position. There's your Orlando. Shriver, great little cheeky ball back to Orlando. Yes, that is a handball.
Brad Ring sliding in there and smacking it with his left hand. I wonder who will be the penalty taker. Will it be Bravo? Will it be Shriver or Fondi? Plenty of options, and the referee, Mark Kudledzik, making the key decision of this one. Ring staying down, presumably Freeze whoever the penalty taker will be, but either way, great play between Shriver and Orlando to create that situation.
Well, that's what subs do for you late in games. Fresh legs. Both are energetic players. Both like to run at people with and without the ball. That's what happened here. And they find each other. So as a coach, you look at a player where you put him in and you look him in the eye and say, make a difference for us. And that's what these players have done. They score here. You got to go back to Shriver and Orlando. Combination play, getting in the box and putting Brett Ring under tremendous duress. And if I was a guessing man, I say it's Omar Bravo who's going to take the responsibilities to take this one, although Shriver is very, very good as well. But no, Omar says, you know what? You brought me here to excel. You brought me here to be the leader. You brought me here to win games for you. Put it on my shoulders.
And it is Omar Bravo, the Mexican international. Over 370 appearances from his former club in Mexico, Chivas Guadalajara. Scored 132 goals for them. And now for the Carolina Railhawks, will try and give them a much-needed victory.
Torrado bending down, talking to him in Spanish, obviously, try to get him off his game. Those are two foxes right there. Look, look.
Carolina are winless in 5. Can they get a win here through Omar Bravo from the penalty spot? Referee blows his whistle. And here is Omar Bravo. Bush gets the right way, but Omar Bravo slots it past him. Carolina earning the penalty at the death and earning the 3 points in the process. Carolina 3, Indy 11-2.
I talked about the Fat Ladies singing or not singing yet for Indy. I didn't give Carolina enough credit. Well done, Omar Bravo, under tremendous duress, going left of the goalkeeper. Even the athletic, quick John Bush can't get to a ball that's perfectly placed in the side netting with pace. Muy bien, Omar Bravo. Que golazo. And probably 3 points. That's the most important thing for the team.
For a 4th time this season, the strike partnership of Omar Bravo and Matt Fondi have combined to score in a game. And for a team in Indy 11 that has benefited so much from late drama, they see the other end of it now as Bravo will come off here for Mickey Daly, the center back, who's just going to see this one out here for the Railhawks. We'll see how much more added time to added time the referee gives to Indy 11. Swept away there by Stephen Miller. The fans now will start to beg for the final whistle. Defensive header won by Janicki. And now Brian Shriver will have a chance to run here to the corner flag and kill off the rest of this game, and that is exactly what the veteran will do. Orlando trying to shove him off the ball and actually does so fairly easily. Orlando trying to win it back, but now Lacroix will have a chance to run. Advantage being played by the referee. Vukovic trying to play it on there for Gordon, but in the end, a good sweeping clearance from the Railhawks. We're now into the 97th minute. Is there another twist in the tail? Patterson will lump it towards the box. Defensive header there by Becky. Played to the feet of Fondi, and now Fondi will charge forward. The referee looks at his watch, and that is the final whistle. Carolina in desperate need of 3 points. Get them at home from the league.